This is Nansubuga Jacqueline, a daughter to Nachintu Judith. She has been going through a tough time. Her mother a few years ago left the country for Saudi Arabia for a better opportunity to facilitate her daughter's university education. But things didn't turn out well.
Mama wange yagenda n'agenda ebweru Saudi Arabia ng'agenze tukolera ffe abaana be. Kati we yatuuka eyo n'akolawo ng'emyezi ebiri. Then awo time neetuuka baboosi be ne batukubira essimu nga batugamba no yagwa ku accident. N'abeerayo naye nga tetufuna bulungi mpuliziganya naye. Kati awo oluvannyuma lw'ebbanga nityoka tujjana no Migrant Workers Voice ne tusaba obuyambi era oluvannyuma lw'emyaka ebiri ne bamukomyawo. Kati awo baamala omukomyawo ne bamutwala naye nga kale nga tali nnomo tali nga we yali agenze. Kati ne bamutwala mu ddwaliro mukebera ne bakebera nga talina kinsigo ye eya left nga teriimu.
Nachintu's case is still running in court, hence can't appear on camera to explain the ordeal. I found her daughter at Migrant Workers Voice Network, an association which rehabilitates victims of external labor abuse through counseling and soft skills training. This organization was founded by Kayonde Abdallah in 2017 in a bid to restore hope for returnee migrants with psychosocial issues.
We come into play as a workers' wing to say that no, enough is enough. The workers must have a joint voice. They must have a voice, an amplifier for the minorities, for the voiceless, to speak out, to be able to express their opinions as it is enshrined in the international labor standards. So it doesn't stop at that. From the prevention, sensitization we are trying to do, we go ahead not to leave the victims, those that have faced it, because they didn't know maybe, or didn't know what to do. Since they cannot avoid going there, they have ended up miserable or being tortured, frustrated, or forced into labor. So here we come into play to say no, even those that have already faced this challenge must be given a priority to be rehabilitated.
Despite her mother's situation, Nansubuga says she has learned different skills that have helped her earn a living, as well as sustain herself in school. Remember, her mother is weak and unable to work.
Kinyambye okuyiga skills ez'enjawulo. Okugeza tukola zi sanitizer, tukola liquid soap, n'ebirala bingi just lwakuba nze ebyensinga okwenyigiramu. Ensimbi ezivaamu tuzeeyambisa wano eno tugeze zituyambako wano eno kati nze nga nze asoma. Bwe ziba zivuddemu zinyambako ne bampererako ne zikola ki ne bampererako ku ssomero gye nsomera.
Kayonde has clustered the rehabilitation needs to fit the needs of the returnees. One of them is what he dubbed the Teenage Migrant Mothers Club, which focuses on building employable skills that fit in the national job market for mothers who gave birth when still teenagers and later left to Arab countries for greener pastures.
Our Teenage Mothers Club is a club of a section of our members who are regarded to be teenagers and all having gotten into this kind of affair when they were teenagers, and eventually they ended kucheyo, or they ended in migration. These are so young mothers. We believe even their children are young. So we are worried about their status, their position when they decide to abandon home, to go for work, leaving their children behind. We normally give them a close watch of around 3 to 2 weeks or even a month when they are here with us, to stay close to us. And then we watch as we try to give them a merge in. They merge into community. You tell them to move, identify an opportunity they can try to occupy themselves. So once they identify it, they come back, inform you, and say, now, Mr. President, I have seen maybe I want to do trade, I want to do a what. So you look for small money as you can to see how you can push on them.
Over 100 women have been rehabilitated from the center in Mengo, a Kampala suburb. As any other growing initiative, the Teenage Migrant Mothers Club faces challenges, including insufficient space for learning. According to Uganda Association of External Recruitment Agencies, an organization that brings together all recruitment agencies in Uganda, such efforts are critical at a time where Ugandans don't stop flocking to Asian countries, despite the abuse stories that come out regularly. Enid Nambuya, the executive director here, says that organizations like Migrant Workers' Voice should as well be present in the destination countries for the violated migrant workers to be rehabilitated there.
Any CSO in Uganda that is rehabilitating, I say well done. However, the money must come from the perpetrator, as far as I'm concerned. But they can also deal with some of these things before people travel. What caused the harm? If you decide to run out of a house, to jump out of a third floor because you've been persuaded that there's more money out there, aren't you really causing this harm to yourself? Whatever changes you want to see in the way people are treated abroad has to happen abroad. It means that people like migration workers' voice should be in the destination countries shouting to make sure they also get a workmen's compensation.
Speaking to an official at Explorer Dubai, a recruitment agency who preferred anonymity, she claimed that as a recruitment agency, they have also tried to rehabilitate migrant workers on return on several occasions.
When they come back, we pick them from the airport, we hand them over to their families. If they need medical attention, for the first time, at least the first entry bill, we take them to the hospitals. Then afterwards, the family takes over. If they are not, if they don't require hospital and they go home, we check on them at least the first and the second month. And when we hear that she's fine and okay, that is it. So we leave her now to heal with her family and to decide the way forward.
The Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development is not just watching. According to Wandera Martin, the Director of Labour, he says that they are developing an external employment management information system that will help in tracking migrant workers' contracts.
In order to be able to provide support to returnee migrant workers, there is need for a mechanism to capture data regarding those who are returning. And one of the things that the ministry is doing is to develop its external employment management information system to include a module on contract management. We will be able to track the contract and know that Jane's contract or John's contract ends on the 3rd, and if 1 week after the 3rd he or she has not returned, then there will be a red flag against their name, and we will be able to find out why they have not returned. But that system will also help us in knowing those who are returned, so that arrangements can be made to provide social support and assistance to those who may require.